Welcome back to the Overcomer Podcast. I'm your host, Jenicka Lopez. Thank you guys so much for choosing to listen to this episode today. Today, we are going into advice. You guys sent me questions on my Instagram or topics that you guys needed advice on. So we're going to get into weight loss advice, relationship, friendship, mental health, all that good stuff. So let's get started. I'm going to keep everybody anonymous and just kind of keep it more generalized. So protecting the privacy of everybody. But I'm excited because a lot of you guys are asking for very valid things. I also want to preface and start by saying that your feelings are valid in every situation, whatever you guys are going through, whether it be losing weight, or in a relationship where you're just questioning yourself about, certain feelings, you're gaslighting yourself. Your feelings are valid, my loves. Do not ever question the way that you feel. Sometimes we just need to process it and understand where those feelings are coming from. Okay, so let's get started. Setting boundaries while still glorifying God, specifically one-sided friendships, it's draining. I feel you. I hear you. I have been in those positions as well. In any relationship, any friendship in general, there should be healthy boundaries placed. But also it's the way that you communicate those boundaries on how are those boundaries going to benefit you both in that friendship, relationship, etc. You have to communicate that correctly. And if we're talking spiritually, still glorifying God, it doesn't mean that you're not glorifying God if you set these boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. I don't want to be mistaken, but I do believe that Jesus did have boundaries himself. They're healthy. They're meant for a reason. They're created. If we're talking about friendships, one-sided friendships, look at your circle. How are these people bringing value and substance into my life? Are they leading me closer to God or they're pulling me away? And that's the question. For every little thing, every relationship that you're in, are these people benefiting me? Are we getting closer to God together? Or am I being stripped away of that relationship? How much energy are we putting into these friendships? How much energy are we putting into these relationships? And I think you'll find your answer. And at the end of the day, take it to God, my love. Take it to God and pray and see what relationships are for you and not for you. Yes, it shouldn't be one-sided. A friendship, a relationship, it takes two. Both have to put in the work and understand each other and have those healthy boundaries. This is another thing. We're going to stay on the boundaries topic, you guys. How do you go about cutting off family without creating more drama? If this is between you and your husband, if you guys are equally deciding in unity that you guys are going to cut off these family members, then there shouldn't be such a huge problem. If it's for toxic reasons, I've done it before. I've cut off family. It's not the prettiest, I'm not going to lie. But if we're talking about, husband's family or your wife's family, again, it's about the way that you communicate it and how you say it, the message that you're delivering. How are you saying that, the hurt that they caused you? And in the most mature and respectful way, you're not calling them out fuck you, this, and that. No, this is in respect for my family. And if you have kids, to protect my kids and their future and their relationships, I need healthy and valuable relationships around myself and my kids. And I don't think that you guys are doing that for me. So with all due respect, I'm going to have to just cut it off, et cetera, et cetera. It's the way that you say things. Think about the message that you're going to be delivering and always come in with peace and very, very mature and very confident in what you're saying. But I'm not going to say it's not going to cause more drama because a lot of people don't understand. People won't understand your boundaries or the why, but as long as you understand and you communicate effectively and it's benefiting you in the long run, then I'm sorry, but you're going to have to do it, it's going to have to be sorry guys, this is going to be better for me and my family. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's not about his family, your husband's family, or your wife's family. It's about the family that you guys are creating in your own home. Any advice on friendship breakups? We also work in the same department. All right. Friendship breakups are not the easiest. I've been through them. I feel like it hurts more than a actual relationship because that person also knows you like the back of your hand, and that connection is very special. So I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I feel you, but sometimes they are healthy. Sometimes friendships are seasonal. Sometimes they aren't meant to be part of our lives forever. And maybe they are, but in different times. You need to allow space for both of you to grow and to come back together, to come back and realize and value that friendship that you guys had. Again, if it's toxic or it's like it's just back and forth and you guys aren't understanding each other, take a break, and that's okay. Whether it can be how long it needs to be, you guys are in control of it. And again, it's all about communicating effectively and talking maturely. Like, you guys have to be a little bit selfish. At the end of the day, you have to be selfish about who you want in your life. And again, who's going to benefit me in the long run. How can I improve as a person? How can I improve better as a person? How can I feel more confident in myself? Thank you so much for that question. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It is a journey. It is a long journey of self-realization, becoming self-aware about what you're feeling, what makes you feel good. And staying true to yourself is most important. If there's anything that I can say or speak into this, is that being true to yourself and not what others want for you is going to make you more confident than actually doing the stuff that people are telling you to do. Why? Because it's what you want. It's how you want to live your life. If this is what you're looking for and you want to better yourself, focus on your mental health. Focus on your spirituality. If you believe in God, if you go to church or whatever, tap more into your Bible, get connected. If you're having difficulty understanding yourself, look, I promise you, and I've been practicing it for the last couple months, understanding God is better at understanding yourself, and that's how you become a better person. If we're talking about friendships, if you need to get better in your friendships, you got to find the root as to where each emotion is coming from. If you're upset, if you lash out on your friends, why? If you are disconnecting or if you are isolating yourself, why? Everybody's goal, no matter what, is to be a better person. Practice kindness, show grace to yourself, love others, and that, I promise, will give you the most confidence. All right, you guys, we're going to go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, you guys. I'm struggling keeping a good relationship with God. I feel I keep pulling away. I think we've all been there. Spiritual warfare, I feel like it's not the easiest. Walking with God isn't the easiest. And I just learned this in church the other day about having doubt in God and self-doubt. And it's biblical. It's normal to, we're going to be doubting. It's fine. And that's what pulls us away. But you cannot let yourself. That is letting the enemy, the devil, win. That is giving him exactly what he needs in order to bring you back and for you to just lose your life. Stay locked in. Stay focused. My favorite Bible verse is John 13:7. And then that specific chapter, it's talking about Jesus washing his disciples' feet. And one of the disciples asked, "Oh, why are you doing this? Don't stop doing this." I'm paraphrasing, of course, but in John 13:7 specifically, and it's my favorite verse, and it's the one that's in my bio. It's the one that's tattooed on me. "You may not understand what I'm doing now, but soon you will." And I apply this in every area of my life. Maybe we don't understand what God is doing right now, but he makes our mistakes our perfect will. And later on down the line, we're going to see that, wow, this was always his plan. And it was always for the better of the good and for our souls. How to separate yourself from the world when trying to walk with God and be Christ-like. Well, again, that isn't the easiest. It's also not separating yourselves. We're meant to be a light in the darkness. If you are obviously struggling with sin or whatever, also, again, have grace with yourself, because that is what's given to us, is grace and love. It's also learning from those sins and loving God more so much that you don't want to sin. And that doesn't mean to walk away from the world. It means to be a light in the world. It means to just let your relationship with God be a reflection into the darkness that is surrounded around us, if that makes sense. Being Christ-like, again, I would tap into knowing the word, knowing what God wants us to be like, understanding the fruits of the Spirit, knowing Jesus. Again, we're not meant to be these perfect people. We were designed to sin, and that's who we are, but we could be better and make better choices, and always keep in mind to love like Jesus. How to get over uncomfortable confrontations with someone after calling them out. Ooh, I always get like uncomfortable and weird when I'm like expressing my feelings and then that other person doesn't receive them well, and it just gets weird and awkward, and especially if like you're friends or whatever. I feel that. Uncomfortableness isn't the best feeling, but it also helps us grow. And if you're having uncomfortable confrontations, have another talk. Just be like, hey, are we on the same page? Did I say something in the last talk that you didn't like, or et cetera, et cetera? Again, communicate. Like, what is it? If it matters that much to you, communicate and figure it out, so that way you guys can move forward together and you guys don't have to be awkward. I'm trying to lose weight, but I find it so hard to get motivated. And what motivated you? To be honest, I hated the gym. Growing up, it was just like a place that I just hated, because my mom would wake me up at 5 a.m. and I had to go exercise. And it just wasn't, I had an unhealthy relationship with the gym. But then I started obviously seeing the results. I'm the type of person that when I put my mind to it, I'm going to get it done and I'm going to perfect it. I'm a perfectionist. It's so bad, but maybe that's not the best advice. But when you start doing something like, and you see like, okay, the challenge, I like a challenge. I like what it does to my mind and what it does to my body. It stimulates my brain, and it's like, okay, I'm not doing this right. I'm going to do it right now. And losing weight isn't the easiest. It's an up and down roller coaster cycle. Trust me, you guys, it is so hard. But if there's anything that's going to help you, is to understand also your body. What helps your body? What kind of foods does your body like? How does my body react to this? Like, it's not the easiest, but what motivated me was also just being very unhappy. I know that sounds so cliche and just probably not the most helpful, but I was so unhappy with where my body was at that I needed to make that change for my mental health, because it was such a big part of my life. And obviously being in social media and stuff, like, it was such a big part of me. And I'm ashamed to say that social media was a huge part of it, but I'm also happy because I'm so grateful at where my body is at now. Obviously, I've gotten 2 surgeries. I have taken medication. I said like a couple episodes ago that I have done Ozempic. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, then okay. I'm not shaming anybody that does any of these things. You do what works for your body. And there's like a lot of questions too about how to stay consistent, about eating habits, etc. You have to do what works for your body. Try things out, trial and error. Try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Let's move on to the next thing. I highly recommend getting a trainer to start. They're very motivational and they help guide you, especially in the gym and with nutrition and just motivation, especially from someone that you don't know. I think it's better because they're non-biased and they can just help guide you correctly. How can I stop guarding my heart? I feel like I've been hurt so much. My heart is stone. I feel that. I feel that because I feel like I was very misunderstood and people would just use my heart and take advantage of it. So I've been in that position before. And it's not about guarding your heart. It's not that you want to stop. It's what you want. You got to see things and see, okay, how much access am I going to allow this person or this situation into my heart? You really have to think, is this going to hurt me? Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Our heart is the core of us. It's who we are. If we're receiving toxic relationships, if we're taking crap from this person or our work Or if this isn't making my heart better and it's only making it harder, then maybe I shouldn't be allowing it in the first place. Guard your heart. It's not, the purpose isn't to stop it. It's to be aware and to be intentional of what goes in and out. Your heart is the source of your thoughts, your beliefs, your attitudes, your actions. It's vital to your emotional and spiritual health. And at least for me, what feeds my heart and helps me guard it as well is also God. Like, it has a significant impact with God. Be aware of what you allow into your mind, such as movies, music, the people you spend time with. You have to be intentional about what you focus on and bring to your mind, and just be aware about your own secret thoughts and feelings, and such as like anger, resentment, pride, jealousy, etc. Because that is exactly how we flow. Don't stop guarding your heart, but just be intentional and be aware, because that is how we just live. Our heart is meant to live, is to help us live. Okay, you guys, we're going to wrap it up almost, but this one's a good one. How do you begin to heal the things you never talk about? Ooh, I feel like I've been through and seen a lot of things that have hurt me, and I've silently held it in, and it's damaged me more than it has been good. So I think the first process and the first step to the process is to actually talk about it. Maybe if you're uncomfortable talking about it with family or friends, find a therapist or someone maybe at your church, or if you do have a close friend, talk about it, even if they may not understand. A lot of time I spent talking about my grief with people that wouldn't understand me, but it just helped me release it. Say it out loud. Another thing is also, healing begins with God also. Like, that is where the source of our healing and our pain, the source of our healing and our happiness comes from, because he's just love. All he wants is just to give love and to be a light. And if you don't have any specific person, then just take it to prayer. Like, look, God, I ask you today that you just come into my life and you heal the certain parts of me that only you know, that you've seen, and that you can understand, that you can help me understand why I feel this way, and that I can just let this pain or this hurt go, so that I can move on with my life, so I don't build up or hold resentment in any situation. And if anything, I do want to say like a little prayer over your guys' journeys. I do want to say that I'm proud of you, of every single person that's listening to this episode today. I'm proud of you. I know that God's proud of you. I know that it's been getting very spiritual here in these last couple weeks, but I just feel like it is so evident, and it's so important that you guys connect and feel and hear your heart, and feed your spiritual life. And it's the best way to start any healing, to have your answers to the questions that you have about anything. It's not easy. Again, I want you to know that you have a person here that wants to be a light and to be able to give the best advice and guide you guys correctly. So I do want to say and speak a little life and prayer over you guys, that if you're in this moment right now, I ask you, God, that for any person that is in pain or that is struggling with toxic relationships or friendships and need a way out, that they may draw closer to you and your light and who you are, because you are the source of love, you're the source of grace, and only you can provide that healing that we all need. Lord, I diminish any anxiety, any depression, that anything that is not doing good into our heart, into our brains, that it doesn't reach to our hearts, that we are fed good things, that we're fed good thoughts, that you speak to our minds so that we can reach our hearts, God, that you teach us to guard our hearts and to protect it, and that you could bless us on this journey, not only today, but every single day, that we learn things about ourselves and to have grace with ourselves and understanding that it is okay not to be okay, but that you're always going to be with us in every single part of that journey. Amen. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I pray that you guys got some answers. We're going to do a part 2. We're going to do like a relationship series, like an actual dating one, so that we can figure out what we're doing in this dating life. It's 2025. We're going to talk about it. Make sure you guys leave a review, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.
Overcomfort Podcast is a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network.